That's right. The Uncaged Voice Podcast is back. Donny Cage, Jigsawed, Jester, and TopTierRated. What up, fellas?
Hi.
What's up, Donny Cage, Jigsawed, Jester? How y'all doing?
Doing well. How is everybody's? Are we in spring yet?
It certainly feels like spring where we are.
Well, I mean, I lost an hour of sleep last night randomly, so
Yeah, out of nowhere. I did too.
yeah, it punched me in the face literally. Like I was on Fortnite with my girlfriend, and it literally jumped from 244 to 344. I'm like, what the just happened? Hello? I'm like, oh no.
It happened.
Jester, call me crazy. Call me crazy, but Brian saying that he lost an hour of sleep last night, which we all did, just makes me think that he's starting to sound a little bit like, I don't know, like some of these Cody crybabies.
Don't you start. Don't you start with that. There are no Cody crybabies, and I don't know why Dwayne has an obsession with chicken McNuggets, but he needs to stop.
Because they're good. What's your point?
They are delicious, but I don't feel like they're shoved anywhere rectally.
You know, he does make mention of anal play quite a lot. I did notice that.
I mean, he said the ladies in where were they? I think they said Arizona. All the crackheads. I think it was Scottsdale or Glendale, somewhere. He was in Arizona. And he was calling all the women in the crowd crackhead Karens that can't handle the rock.
Yeah, well, he's back to his Hollywood Rock persona, which I kind of miss. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, that's how the Rock first got over. He got over as an arrogant heel, and that's what he's doing. He's tapping into that heel persona.
Oh yeah, always going to be a huge fan of that. Period. He even gave us a concert on Instagram.
I totally missed that. I wish. Well, it's because I gave up Instagram for Lent this year, so that's why I missed it.
So, with that being said, the Rock is back, and he's involved in a current storyline with the reigning and defending champion known as the head of the table, Roman Reigns. What do we think of this storyline, gentlemen? The Rock and the Bloodline.
Hold on. Before we speak storylines, I want to say rest in peace to the greatest storyline creator. Well, one of the greatest storyline creators of all time, Akira Toriyama. Rest in peace, Akira Toriyama Sensei. Thank you.
You might
Kamehame, and
I was going to say, for people who don't know who that is, you might want to.
For those who don't, he is the creator of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and he passed away March 1st. So
yeah,
definitely rest in peace. Rest in peace for sure to a absolute legend who was very important in my childhood. He kept me entertained through a great deal of my childhood.
Como arigato.
One of the best sagas ever, Cell Saga. We'll never forget it.
Thank you. Best saga.
I mean, they all were good in their own way, but it was just something about that one.
Yeah.
So seriously.
Cell also has the sickest theme as well. I mean, that's, if I was a wrestler, that may potentially be like my entrance theme. It's such a cool sounding theme.
Yeah, it goes hard.
Mm-hmm. So rest in peace. But we were talking about the Bloodline storyline, right?
Yes.
All right. I am a fan of everything that has happened. The swerves, the twists, the turns. I am watching it more for the Bloodline story than anything else, because that's what captures my attention the most out of everything that's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I like the direction they're going in overall, but I do have a few issues with the storyline. I don't have an issue with The Rock forging an alliance with the rest of the bloodline. I think that actually makes the most sense, especially when you go back to when they did the WrestleMania press conference. The Rock and Roman said they were wrestling not because The Rock had some sort of personal vendetta against Roman, but because they literally were bound by blood. This was destiny for them to face each other on the grandest stage of them all. So that made sense. And then when Cody came out and basically said he had a change of heart, because I guess in his own way he was hinting that The Rock sort of approached him and said, "Cody, step aside right now with your title shot against Roman." It's almost like he said, "You misled me, Rock, to understand why you were challenging Roman Reigns now." So I think that was where Cody came from, and that's why he said, "Let's now I want to challenge for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at WrestleMania."
A sub story that could be told there is that is his boss, and he was giving the ring to his boss and his opponent. He didn't know what was happening. That could be said, but
Could be.
I don't know. There are ways you can they've already pivoted, which is good. So there are just ways you can handle this. What do you think, B?
Well, I mean, I think The Rock doing this for Roman Reigns it goes back farther than we thought, or than what most people probably give it credit for. Because remember, a long time ago, he came out at the end of Roman Reigns winning that WrestleMania match. I mean, Royal Rumble match.
Yeah.
Remember, he came out and he raised his hand in victory, and everybody booed.
Oh, they were pissed.
It would actually be rather brilliant if The Rock brought that up too, as far as being kind of a reason as to why he's in his current position. And it's like, I was always in the bloodline, just from a distance, because those were like the first signs of The Rock even being involved with them.
Yeah. Well, not to mention do you remember what city they were in when Roman won that Royal Rumble?
Weren't they in Philly? I thought they
were in Philly.
Yeah, they were in
Which
Philly.
is where WrestleMania 40.
That's what I'm saying. It's literally all coming full circle, low key. It's quite brilliant, and I hope they do use that as a plot device. Like, hey, last time I was here raising his hand in victory, I guarantee you this will be a promo at WrestleMania. I guarantee you. The Rock's going to say that. Last time I was here, I raised his hand in victory. Tonight, I'll be doing it again, whether you guys like it or not. You Philly cheesesteak eating sons of bitches. Exact words.
He's been cooking people lately like horribly.
Oh, he going to cook us. He definitely going to mention cheesesteaks. I guarantee you.
My boy said he going to slap the herpes off of somebody's lip in the front row. I'm aghast. I love it.
You see, that's when The Rock's at his best, when he's just completely unfiltered, not holding back, just insults everybody.
I do think it's a missed opportunity that the Bloodline hasn't added Nia Jax to the group, though.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah, it could have happened.
I mean, she is a cousin, isn't she?
Yeah,
on the Rock side.
Yeah, she's a cousin to the Rock side. I think, and I personally think Nia Jax needs it because she's so bad on her own. You put her with the Bloodline, she gets instant hill heat, which she already gets. Yeah. And I think it'll just elevate her to another level,
Yeah, that's the sad thing. She needs to get like that kind of heat because for the most part, she ends up getting X-Pac heat. People don't want to, or not X-Pac, just go away heat, period. People don't like her at all.
I'm surprised they didn't add the Rock's daughter to the group.
Oh, no. Geez. People are too busy being mean to her online.
Which is weird.
People are weird.
Yeah, which is really weird. But moving on. So, are there any other plot lines happening in the WWE right now before we move on to AEW?
Speaking of the Bloodline storyline, I mean, we've also got Seth freaking Rollins inserted into the picture as well. And this is where, and remember how I said earlier that I had some issues with the Bloodline storyline going into WrestleMania?
Yeah.
This is my issue. And the thing is, there's two schools of thought about this, but this is my opinion. To me, they have been building towards a one-on-one match between The Rock and Cody Rhodes on night one of WrestleMania. But instead, what we're getting is a tag team match. Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns and The Rock. And I think the reason they did this, which is kind of smart, is because they want to protect The Rock. He hasn't wrestled since WrestleMania 29. They don't want him getting in there and taking too many bumps and getting injured. They figure let the full-time wrestlers take most of the heat and everything in the match. So that makes sense. But it would just be so much more satisfying, in my opinion, if if The Rock and Cody Rhodes were having a one-on-one match on night one of Mania, and whoever wins that match would have challenged Roman Reigns on night two.
Now the question is, do you think Cody is safe enough a worker to cater to The Rock?
I think he is.
Absolutely.
I think he is, and Cody's been around the block long enough to understand that when you're dealing with somebody who's older, who may potentially have ring rust, you want to incorporate a little bit more rest holds into your, performance or whatever, or your dance, so to speak. Do a lot more rest holds. You let The Rock put you in a lot of rest holds. You got communication there. You got the ability to get ungassed because The Rock obviously stays in shape, but in shape physically is not the same thing as in ring shape.
Let me give you a good example. Like, take a guy like Kevin Owens or whatever. You look at him physically and you say, this guy really isn't in shape or whatever. But as far as in ring shape, taking bumps and competing in 30 plus minute matches, Kevin Owens could work circles around most of the guys on the roster.
Right. I personally don't like the idea of the tag match. I think it's hold on. The tag match itself, I don't have an issue with. It's what's on the line for what follows is.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. It just seems like, why would The Rock and the group even put that as a risk? Oh, we won't be at ringside if you beat us. Huh? That almost feels like it should have been something presented from Seth and Cody's side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That should have been their presentation, not The Rock putting it on the table. Like, that didn't make sense to me. It's like, why are you giving them this much?
I found that bizarre too.
Yeah, like, you're a heel. You should be wanting them to have nothing. It's like, well, if you beat us, then I'll guess you'll get your title shot.
And there is this like low-hanging theory right now too about that. Like, Rock isn't in the bloodline, but he's in the bloodline.
I really don't want to see him turn on a bloodline. I think it'll be kind of lame and
I don't either.
A little lazy. Like, him turning on Roman it would just be dumb, in my opinion. I think the way the story has been set up, I think The Rock needs to just take the L with the bloodline. Mm-hmm. Just take the L. Like, turning on Roman just ruins their whole legacy, their whole legacy line that they built. Like,
because there's no way Roman's going to take the L on night one. There's no way that's going to happen.
Or what they could have done, they could have had. Remember when Roman told The Rock to acknowledge him? Mm-hmm. They could have did it to where The Rock never actually did that. Like, let's say he said, acknowledge me, and he just nods in approval. But The Rock, instead of saying, I acknowledge you, he gets out of the ring and just walks away. Mm-hmm. They pretend like nothing happened. And at WrestleMania, Roman turns on The Rock.
That would be great, too.
You get what I'm saying? Now, all of a sudden, The Rock is on Cody's side. Mm-hmm. And Roman's whole issue with The Rock is, you didn't acknowledge me. But the fact that he did acknowledge him, it's like, why would he turn on him? It just doesn't make sense if he would turn. Yeah, I really hope they don't make The Rock turn on him at Mania. That will make me boo.
Like, being ousted, essentially, because of the way The Rock was holding up his one, apparently.
So it could be the internet stretching or reaching, I should say. Or it because I personally think The Rock just put up the wrong symbol. I don't think it was an L for like loser or anything like that. I really
it's like
don't.
the scene. It's like the scene from Inglorious Bastards where Michael Fassbender puts up the wrong three fingers. He
Yeah,
puts it up the British way instead of the German way.
yeah. I think The Rock just realized he's like, oh, my thumb's supposed to be in.
Yeah, that was a legit. I think that was a legit botch.
I think it was a
when that
botch.
happened.
Yeah, it was a taunt botch.
Gotta give credence to some of the internet rumors.
With that being said, though, they could also run with that. But again, it wouldn't make no sense because he acknowledged you. Why are you against him all of a sudden? What happened? Like, why would you even side with Cody at this point? There's nothing indicating that he would turn on Roman because Roman didn't do anything. You get what I'm saying? Like, why would you turn on Roman here? If he turns on Roman, you're low key making Roman a good guy now. Like, huh?
I mean,
he didn't.
That'd be a quick way to freshen it back up.
Literally gave The Rock no reason to turn on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Acknowledging him as a tribal chief is not a reason. He's the leader. He wants to know that you respect him.
But then you got to take into how Dwayne, like The Rock, is as his character. He was telling whatchamacallit, he was talking about shut up, bitch to everybody. What?
He was, but again, these are all hills in the ring. So a hill turning on another hill, what usually happens? That hill that got victimized all of a sudden is a face now.
Yeah, just automatically.
Yeah, it's like the double switch. So I don't know. I logically, please keep that man bad guy.
Oh yeah, Hollywood Rock needs to stay for at least
at least for a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
Well, I mean, back to what you were saying, Brian. As far as other storylines, speaking of Seth Rollins, he's got a title defense coming up against Drew McIntyre. And can I just say that Drew McIntyre, for the first time in like over a year, is finally interesting.
Yeah, I hopefully they have a good match, but I have zero interest in this one. Only because I feel like I've seen this already. And Seth is a weird champion to me. I don't know to cheer him or boo him.
Yeah.
But I guess that makes him great. He's killing it right now. I would have preferred for him to go against somebody that wasn't the same person. I feel like it's always been like Drew. It's always the same people, and
that's fair.
I would like to see. Oh shit! I just realized something.
What?
Damian Priest cashing in, bro.
Bingo! I was waiting for you to realize.
Yeah, he definitely cashing in. Oh, he's 100% cashing in. Now, obviously not on Cody, even though that would be godlike. If Cody finishes his story,
that would make him a heat magnet.
He will be
unbelievable.
The most hated person in the company.
I would die laughing.
And it would elevate Judgment Day to like way beyond what they are now. They're already hot.
Because if you think about it, everybody expects him to cash in on Seth Rollins.
Yep.
Because he's on Raw primarily. Even though as tag team champs, they compete on both shows. But now, honestly, look, and don't misunderstand me. Like, I love Cody, and I want to see him get his time in the spotlight. But that would be one of the most amazing twists in WWE history if he cashed in on Cody.
That would be the biggest heel thing, and it would cater to Triple H's unpredictability, like he loves doing.
Because think about it, y'all. Night one, he gets into this crazy tag team match. He's going to get. I almost feel like Cody might take a fake injury in that match. Like he got busted ribs or something. He somehow gets through Roman Reigns, wins the title. This man is burnt out from wrestling 2 nights in a row. One of the toughest challenges ever. Yeah, Damian cashes in. Title switch. Mega heat. Roman gets to take his vacation. You already got a new heel and a faction at the top of that attention now, like the Bloodline was. Because what's going to happen to the other Bloodline members when Roman go on vacation? They're going to fade into obscurity, unfortunately.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
So I think doing that with Damian Priest would be crazy. Because you could put the belt right back on Cody at SummerSlam. Or let Damian keep it for a long time if he takes it from Seth.
Yeah.
Or what they might do is they might wait until the night after WrestleMania to do something.
They could, because he could be selling injuries still from the 2 nights of hell.
Yeah.
Basically,
both of them for that matter, because Cody and Seth are pulling double duty.
Yep.
My number one fear is that they're going to let him win, but they're not going to let him win the right way. Like Damian Priest, they're going to let him cash in, but it's not going to be like a meaningful title reign. Because then again, you just end up wasting the money in the bank again.
Which they've done a lot in recent years, unfortunately.
Like, say, for instance, what I mean by the wrong way is he'll announce his championship match. Like, he'll be like, I'm going to cash in on you, like Cena did.
Yeah.
Well, Damian's a heel.
Won't do it possibly because he's a heel, but like he's been right. Like the whole R-Truth thing had people like fluctuating with him. To see, like, because they're like, oh, he's vibing with R-Truth. He's not such a bad guy. Then that whole thing's like, no, I'm evil. And then beat him up. But that still sticks in people's head.
Yeah, he beat him up. And guess what? R-Truth is still in the Judgment Day.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why JD is still there.
That was his hazing, bro. What are you talking about?
He can be gone.
JD, you not in the Judgment Day, man.
Fucking bobblehead, man.
Oh man, how do you get roughed up like that?
Oh.
So what do we got next? So moving over to AEW a little bit. Sting, after 30 years in wrestling, has officially retired. And he went out on top. Wasn't he undefeated in AEW?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, this man had a perfect wrestling record in AEW.
God bless that man.
Now, some people were a little upset, like, oh, what did he actually do? He didn't put anybody over. Yes, he did. He made people want to watch AEW, because I was one of the people that dipped out. I checked out of AEW a while ago. But when I heard Sting went there, I did tune in for a little bit just to see what they were doing. That being said, the person being elevated the highest right now is actually Darby Allin.
Yep.
So you can't say he didn't put anybody over. Yes, he did. He was treated with respect. He got the W's that WWE should have given him. And then in the process, he elevated a younger star who could technically carry the torch now. Because basically, you could look at it this way. Darby Allin's the new fucking Sting now.
Yeah.
And we all respected and we like Darby Allin. I'm cool with that.
Yeah. And I appreciate that Sting got to go out on his own terms. Because if he had never gone to AEW, the last match we would have ever watched was him losing to Seth Rollins at Clash of Champions in 2015. I think it was 2015.
Yeah, he got injured
where he suffered a neck injury.
Yep.
And that would have been the last we saw of Sting in the ring.
Yeah.
So
I'm grateful for AEW for that too.
Yeah.
back to what you were saying about him elevating. Every time you step in the ring with Sting, you should feel like some slight elevation because this icon is wanting to work with you. As for Darby Allin, I am 100% sure I've convinced myself that Darby Allin just wants to die in the most spectacular way possible.
Yeah, the coffin drop is still one of the most impressive feats of I trust you that I've ever seen.
Big trust fall.
It is a
It's
massive
literally a trust fall.
It's literally a trust fall. It's crazy. But
he's that swan, wasn't it it was a senton through the glass table for Sting's last match.
Right.
Yeah, he said he wanted to make it memorable. He wanted people to remember at least that in Sting's last match, which I can respect. Now this man going to climb Mount Everest.
I just hope he's careful because he takes some nasty bumps, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
he's
by
young,
the time
he's
how old is Darby? Is he in his 30s yet?
Nah, I think he's still in his I want to say he's only like 26, 27.
Yep, he's young. So by the time he's about 38, man, his body's going to be destroyed.
Yeah.
Because it's going to start hitting him. Like, I played football my whole life, and it started hitting me 2 years ago.
Wow.
I'm like, ouch.
Where did this come from?
Yeah, it definitely could. Well, it's easier to counteract it as long as you stay in the gym and keep your muscles strong and your bones healthy.
Yeah.
That being said, you start to fall off from it. You really start to feel that stuff. Him being a wrestler, like, you see how long it took Jeff Hardy to get affected by it.
Sure.
Because even Jeff, I'm not going to speak about his history with drugs and all that, whatever. But Jeff keeps himself in a certain level of shape. So when he's wrestling, that man's probably in pain the whole time, but you would never know.
Yeah.
And he didn't start showing signs of like being out of it in the ring until recently. Like, did you see that clip of him falling down after he tried to do the Twist of Fate? It's tough to watch. It's tough to watch.
Was that the one with Sammy Guevara?
I think so, yeah.
Because Sammy Guevara concussed him in that match.
Yeah.
He hit him with a shooting star and like the knee hit him in the head.
That's probably why, though.
Speaking, can I say something as far as like a little sidebar? Because you brought up Sammy Guevara. This guy, he's another one of those young wrestlers. He's super talented, but this guy is going to get himself blacklisted from a lot of companies if he keeps pushing his luck. Because he should have known that Jeff was injured, and he should have just, gone to the finish, pinned him or done a quick roll up or something, and boom, the match is over. But no, like you said, he had to hit his finisher when he knew that something was off. And he rightfully got suspended for it. I don't feel sympathetic for him.
And that's not a normal concussion on, a concussion on anybody is bad. But when you concuss a living legend, it's a whole nother realm of, like, you fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, Jeff Hardy is cherished by most, if not all.
Yeah. Despite his own issues in and out of the ring. But he's still respected by a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you never heard of any stories of Jeff Hardy being a dick. You never actually heard any stories like that. No, the only thing you hear about Jeff is him showing up to matches under the influence.
Him self-destructing, but it's not like he ever disrespected people backstage or something.
He's not a bad person. So, yeah.
He kind of buried me like a while ago. I was wondering.
It's kind of crazy. I was just thinking about this earlier. Right now, obviously, you've got Samoa Joe, who's AEW World Champ, which I'm really happy for Joe that he finally got this opportunity because he should have been a World Champ in WWE, and they completely misused him. And honestly, I liked that WWE was using him when he was injured. I liked that they were using him as a color commentator because he was great in that role as well. But AEW is treating Joe with the proper respect. in my opinion. And whether he holds the belt for one more month or one more year, I just appreciate that they said, we want this to be the guy who's going to end MJF's reign. Now, granted, had Adam Cole not gotten injured, I think he would have ended MJF's reign. But the fact that they picked Joe to do it, it proves to me that Tony Khan respects him.
Oh yeah, you need it's hard not to love Joe. Samosa Joseph.
Yep.
Intense.
But yeah,
very intense. Ooh, sorry, I had to charge my device.
and he's also stayed healthy in AEW, so I think that's part of the reason why they said we can trust him in a main event level role, because he hasn't been getting injured since he came here.
And hasn't injured anybody, I don't believe.
Not that I know of.
I don't.
You said Joe. You talking about Samoa Joe?
Yeah,
Samosa Joseph.
I think he injured somebody with the Muscle Buster in NXT.
Oh, yeah,
that was Tyson Kidd. That was back when he was, and that was more of a freak accident.
Yeah,
that wasn't like he was being reckless.
Joe's known for being really safe. Like he's and he looks super stiff in the ring.
That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
But he's
pretty good.
Joe
yeah. Oh, I'm sure he's one of those guys where his opponents are sore the next day, but but he doesn't like injure them. Like that's the big difference. Like you could be a guy like you could be snug in the ring. Don't get me wrong, but as long as you're not actually injuring your opponents, that's what matters.
So it's definitely a great time to be a wrestling fan if you are or aren't.
Absolutely.
Most people who stopped watching wrestling probably did come back when they called when that The Rock was back. A lot of people tend to do that.
He's a draw. He's a draw, regardless.
He's a draw, and he's an Attitude Era guy. So I know a lot of Attitude Era people leave wrestling for long periods of time. And then when something from that era comes back, they literally come back with them.
I'm there.
Like a lot of CM Punk people came back to WWE because of CM Punk. That being said, it sucks that he's injured again. Like, fuck, man. I was happy to see him back, and I felt like WWE was always his home.
It was.
AEW just didn't work for me as a fan of him.
Didn't work for him either.
Yeah, I didn't like the idea of him being there. I'm like, it's something don't feel right.
Well, you see,
I was more excited for him to be in UFC than I was in AEW.
Well, you see, here's the thing, Brian. Like when he came back to AEW, especially now in retrospect, I truly believe that he wanted to go back to WWE, but Vince didn't want him. So that's what led to him making the deal with Tony Khan in AEW.
I think Triple H wanted him that whole time, but Vince didn't.
Oh yeah, Triple H knows money.
Yeah,
Triple H is brilliant.
Yeah. And granted, those two didn't like each other when they both were employed by WWE. But but Triple H knows what makes money and what drives up ratings. And,
like he used to say, he knows what's best for business.
He really does. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But speaking of Vince McMahon, here's a guy who has done a complete 180 in the last 2 years and doesn't know what's best for business, apparently.
Yeah, so the allegations with Vince, I won't spend too much time on it because it's disgusting.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
That being said, there are a lot of people who have gotten promotions because of the issue. As you know, The Rock is now he's one of the heads now, right?
He's a board member. He's a board member at TKO.
Yeah, he's a board member over at TKO, and so The Rock is calling shots up there. Brock Lesnar vanished from the sites. Even the new game, they took him out, and that wasn't because Brock was guilty of anything. today we learned that Brock is actually being put back on the website. So the more people to be proven innocent, the better. Because, I hate to see this kind of stuff go down. It sucks, especially for all the women that have suffered from the disgusting shit I've heard.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly on behalf of the Uncaged Voice Podcast members, we are sorry for your trauma.
Yes.
Because nobody should be subjected to that fuckery that transpired. And there are certain stuff that has been presented that it's like, bro, this is literally some of the fucked up shit we had to sit there and listen to him try to make storylines out of. And so people sitting there saying like, oh, well, you don't know. Yeah, I fucking do know. Because we literally watch Vince try to do the weirdest storylines. And interviews have come out about stories with Stephanie even. This man wanted to do an incest storyline with Stephanie. And she said no. Like, what the fuck? Like, bro, like, just, it's weird. It's so weird. And like for like a week, maybe longer. Even, I would say it didn't stop. I don't watch it because I'm still uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. That being said, I do support the wrestlers, which is why we're here today. Because not all of them are at fault. A lot of them are really good people that deserve us to be supporting them, Yeah. So that being said, I really, really hope that justice is served with whoever is guilty. If all this comes back and Vince McMahon is innocent, then more power to him. But if you're guilty of the shit that has come out, then as far as I'm concerned, you're dead to me. One. Yeah. Like JR, not JR. No, I was right. Like JR would say. Right. He would scream. Yeah, it would scream at the top of his lungs, "Burn in hell, you son of a bitch!"
That's all I need right there.
Yeah, like send him to hell, Kane. Send him to hell. Agreed.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of women, don't send them to hell. Leave Hades alone.
Oh. Speaking of the women of the WWE, we also want to wish Maurice Mazen and the Miz's real life wife, former Divas champ, a speedy recovery from her pre-cancer diagnosis surgery that she had recently. Mm-hmm. Obviously, a very scary situation, but she is someone who's very well liked in the wrestling community. Is definitely a great mom and a great partner for the Miz. So we wish her the best.
Pourquoi?
I am hoping that she comes back and is with Awesome Truth. That would be the most interesting trio.
It would be.
That would be great. I would love seeing all three of them interact. It'd be funny.
I agree too.
So I had to mute myself temporarily because I was a little thirsty. So I find myself drinking a Prime drink.
Oh God! Why are you drinking?
Here's the thing: I wanted to try it because I knew we were going to mention something about his brother today. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get his drink and try it live. So I just tried it, and it's decent at first, but it has a really weird aftertaste to me. It could just be the blueberry one, maybe. It's hard to make blueberries actually taste good to begin with, because blueberries are very, they're not the sweetest fruit. So typically you have to add some shit to it to make it taste better. That being said, this shit has a weird aftertaste and I don't like it.
Odd additives. I don't trust Logan Paul additives.
Logan Paul, I'm not impressed, bro. It wasn't a knockout. Now, somebody who might be getting knocked the fuck out
is your
brother, because apparently he's going to go one-on-one with Mike Tyson. Iron Mike Tyson.
Well, it's not going to be more like a full blown knockout. It's going to be more like a punch out.
Oh
As in
wow!
it's going to be take one punch to put Jake Paul on his ass.
So let your corn cool. No, you said 1-on-1. No, it's not. No, it's not. That is not a 1-on-1 fight. If you can tag in people, that's called a handicap match. We've been playing WWE for years. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Unless the manager is he getting Jake Paul a chair from under the ring? Is he getting him protective towels or more headgear that he needs?
No, he's going to slip on brass knucks.
Oh, of course. Yeah, you need those.
See, this isn't wrestling, so good luck doing that stuff in a boxing match.
Oh my God, I'm hoping they mob you. If they do that, I hope they mob you in the ring. I'm hoping. Everybody jump.
I don't see him beating Mike Tyson, not even a little bit. And even if he does, in my opinion, you're not beating Mike Tyson. You're beating older Mike Tyson.
Correct.
Stipulations.
Who, in my opinion, is still dangerous. That being said, age does play a role in it. And for all we know, Mike Tyson is not in the best shape, but you never know. That being said, Logan Paul loses to Mike Tyson. That's going to look really bad for him. Because you're losing to old Mike Tyson.
Yeah. well, Jake Paul. Logan Paul's going to lose to who's he supposed to fight at Mania? Randy Orton.
Yeah.
All it's going to take is one RKO out of nowhere.
Randy Orton's not old though. Randy Orton is probably in the best shape of his career right now.
Oh yeah, man, it's brawling as hell.
And
oh yeah, he's built like a tank.
And not to mention, it's wrestling and boxing, apples oranges, really.
Yeah.
I don't see this as a win on any front for Jake Paul at all.
No.
Like you win, you still lose because you beat old Mike Tyson. You lose, you lost to old Mike Tyson.
I wonder if he's happy having all these asterisks by his wins.
With that being said, though, it's going to bring in a lot of attention. It's going to draw a ton of money for them. The betting pool, like whatever you bet on, whatever platform you decide to do your betting on, whether it's FanDuel, whatever, those are going to shoot through the roof. It's a huge money-making fight if it does happen.
Yeah.
And publicity is good. It creates cash. Controversy does the whole nine.
Yeah.
So I do think it's a win-win for everybody involved. But from a boxing perspective of somebody who has seen boxing, as far as records is concerned and like taking an ass whooping, it ain't looking too good for that dude. Mike Tyson is still a threat. So good luck, brother.
Yeah, he's still
good. You keep winning the inaugural women's ladder match. Good job.
Good luck.
That man is forever going. He's not Jake Paul. He's James Ellsworth.
I haven't been interested in any of his fights until this one.
None.
Because I don't watch boxing as much anymore. I don't watch UFC as much anymore. But I know Mike Tyson. And I'll be there watching that. I grew up with Mike Tyson. I'm definitely supporting that fight.
I suppose. Give Mike Tyson the money.
Let me ask you guys a quick question because you mentioned UFC, Brian. And now that UFC and WWE are both owned by TKO, do you think we're going to see a lot of I don't mean WWE guys in the UFC, but do you think we might see some UFC guys mix it up in the WWE ring every now and then?
No. I think this partnership is only going to make it so WWE presents its product on a more serious tone, in a sense. Like, obviously you're going to have your comedy and all that stuff, but I think them being attached to UFC is going to make them do better. You know, you're going to see a lot more match quality, a lot more storyline quality, and we're seeing it. Like, ever since they did do that partnership, I did notice things have been better. It seems like they are trying way harder. And I think that's going to be the only correlation they have with UFC, is that being attached to the UFC now makes you try harder. That's it.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Competition given by AEW and TNA now. Because was TNA. I'm not sure where they're going now, but
Well, I mean, they did bring the TNA moniker back now. That's the thing.
Which was a W.
The person who brought it back.
It's a W that it's called TNA again. I do like the bridging of the gap that they did with Jordan Grace. That was dope as hell. She had her monster title on and everything, and she looked hella good in that match. A lot of women look good in that match, but her specifically, it was nice to see her get a lot of moments, and she got eliminated like a G. You know, she took a finisher on the apron. They couldn't throw her out normally. She had to take a KOD on the apron, the hardest part of the ring, to get eliminated. So they protected her name, which is very 100%.
Good.
Yeah,
they did.
Especially like Bianca alone should be. She is the protector. If you have any guest spots, anybody you need to get over and make them seem like a plausible threat, put them up against Bianca.
Agreed.
Yep.
She's very good. She's proven to be very safe to work with too.
100% safe, dependable. Really good at selling. Oh my god.
The most dangerous thing about Bianca is that damn hair whip, because I've seen she whipped the hell out of what's her name, and she had a lash on her back, bro. I'm like, damn.
Wasn't that Tiffy?
Yes.
Or was it somebody else?
It was
Tiffany
Tiffany.
Stratton, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's assault with a deadly weapon.
I'm like, yo, they going to tell her you gotta take your braid out before you get in the game.
you gotta have that tied up or something. We can have that.
It's actually a weapon, bro.
You see, the thing is she and Montez Ford don't even need to like other stuff to like tie each other up in the bedroom. They just got Bianca's hair.
Yeah, literally. Don just got Steamy and Kiki in here.
All right, Donny Cage over here.
Well, yes, and I'm just jealous of Montez Ford. He has a beautiful wife. What could I say?
That being said, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is it for today's episode. We will be back within the next 2 weeks to deliver you Season 1, Episode 2. We'll be covering a different array of topics. We'll probably mention something from wrestling or entertainment, movies, whatever. Topics, sky's the limit. We'll bring you with some quality content, though. But for now, this is Top Tier Rated, Donny Cage, Jigsawed, Jester, signing off. Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Jigsawed, Jester, Donny Cage, Top Tier Rated, Brian Cage, Tears of Jester. Yes. See you next time.
Okay.